Good morning to everybody in the cosmos. Good morning, the Milky Way galaxy, and all the light that you have to give, which is what love is, the same as what I am. I'm going to sort of move around. This is sort of like the way aptitude, abstract thinking, basic logic, computer language, what an argument is, what a function is, because all of it is information sciences. You're in a simulator, just like a flight simulator, okay? Which means you log in and you log out. Log into a system, log into a network, log out of a network. I punched my time card, and when was that? December 15th, as I remember it, 2016. Here's all my data. Okay, so anyway, I love to play with the English language. Okay, because they operate on a set of rules, right? What is the function of the rules? Well, if you understood the relationship between vibration, perception, and the language which is represented by English, you'll begin to realize they don't match very well. Okay, so when I get a comment, when I write something using the English language, hey, you didn't spell that right. You're not using the right language. Well, that's because you run a program. Okay, written into memory that I don't. I'll do whatever I want with that language. I'll say whatever I want. Because I can do that because I'm not doing any harm. I'm simply communicating to you what I know, which is what I'm aware of, which is the data. And all that data is spinning in a powerful vortex. Okay, so how do you unprogram or deprogram a program that somebody's running in memory that it doesn't serve them? And when we talk about doesn't serve them, what do you mean by doesn't serve them? Well, all I have to do is go into observer mode and observe how they're using their energy, which is in memory. Okay, so they're operating a program, yeah. But they're not in alignment with Gaia. They're growing the planet. How do we know that? Well, look what they do with their energy. We can observe what people do with their energy. So I thought I'd throw a few words out here. One is called wordplay, what I call word and label mind traps. So just use that as sort of a ping pong ball on a clothes dryer. Run that through all your data. See if you can connect any other data. See how that fits in the morphogenetic field structure. Because that's what it is. Data transfer, data transmission, neurotransmitters. The data in the neurotransmission. So you got neurotransmitters in your head and you got neurotransmitters in your heart. What do you think is the most powerful? When you come into a spiritual battlefield, it's my hope you knew right from childhood. Stay in the heart. They don't get the heart. Those are the most powerful neurotransmitters. That's where all the light is. That's where all the data is. It is the sum of all those experiences that are constantly changing. So the data is always changing, that is spinning in that huge vortex. Ever been around a tornado? I have the good fortune because I love large energy releases. Love to be around living magma. But obviously, you don't want to start sucking down on the big on what's called pele hair, which are very, very fine, just like hair. It's glass. You don't want to be sucking that in. I was down there on the east side of the island when that pele hair was coming down like crazy, so I thought, just be careful. Okay, you're not done yet here. But I do love to get as close as I possibly can to living magma. That's a powerful transformer. But I remember being around, 1, 2, 3, 4, as my image comes back to me. I'm pulling up the past data of the image, right, which is the projection, the simulation of 4 tornadoes that I remember seeing in my viewfinder when I was in Fayetteville, Arkansas, and I think this was like back in, when was it, 2003, I think it was. It was 4 of them. I thought, holy shit, time to go down underground, right? But there wasn't anywhere to go underground, so I thought, okay, let's just wait and see what they're going to do. That's a powerful vortex. That's a large release of energy that is being experienced. Okay? So when you sort of know what you already are, which is what love is in living spirit, and you're not living in any fear, the worst that could happen to you is to lose the avatar, but I'm not going to lose what I am in spirit. Okay? So I always start with that. Okay? If it's your time to go, it's your time to go. But when you write your own timeline, you already know it's not. So that's how you implicitly trust the goddess. You log in with the goddess when you come into her classroom. So I'm always with a goddess. Okay? So I implicitly trust my goddess, of course. So I'm always living in now time. Okay, so then we get into past, present, and future simulation. Root word, simul. Ever heard of a simul broadcast, or what they used to say was a simulcast? I guess they still use that word. In mass media, like for instance the Olympics in Tokyo, Japan, and they're going to simulcast it all over the planet. That means the speed at which the data, which is the information, just like data being sent in a cell phone, okay, is immediate, so that everybody can experience it at the same time. Now we get into thought transfer, speed transfer, neurotransmitter transfer of data. More of a genetic field structure, right? Okay. Now we can all move into now time. Now we're all manifesting what it is we choose to create, because the speed at which we're experiencing the image is so fast, it can't be captured by a vampire. That's what I call capturing the artist. Okay? You can't capture source, otherwise you could capture all the light. Okay? Which means now you're what source is. Well, to do that, you'd have to be a reflection of what source is, which is what all that light is, which is what all that love is. So you get into simultaneous events. An event. I just experienced an event. So how many people were experiencing the same event? Right? Same data. The speed of the thought. The speed of the data. Okay, so we're experiencing past, present, future simultaneously. Yep. And I wasn't going to do a video on how all the different timelines are essentially manifested into existence that are, if you will, there. Okay? So when you are what love is in living spirit, as eternal light, which is eternal love, and you realize you have so much love to give because you know it's infinite, and you're in now time, you don't think in terms of a time clock. The past doesn't exist. The future's not here yet. All you got is right now, which is what we are, which is what love is in living spirit. That's very simple when you are what that is, so you know your identity. That's an identity function. Okay? So it's easy when they present an argument in computer language, and I present a rebut in an argument, okay, that they can't rebut. The only way that they can get around that is either distract you or lie. And that's exactly what they do. I just got done listening to, who was it, Joe Biden? Oh, Jesus. It's just like, please, okay? It's like, you really think the American people are that stupid? Okay, that they haven't been able to figure this out by now? What it is that you are and what it is that Donald Trump is? Okay? So I said this morning to the lady bus driver, okay? I said, listen, if you want to know who Donald Trump is, look what he does with all of his energy. I know what he does with all of his energy. I went and looked. All you got to do is go to whitehouse.gov and look at what he put his autograph to. He put his name to that. And we can hold his feet to the fire to see whether or not he's delivering on what he says he puts his name to. That's what it means to be an honorable being, living in the light of what love is. Does he love the children in his family? Well, of course he does. I know that. I also happen to know he loves the American people. He knows what it means to have a family. He knows what it means to love his children. He knows what it means to love the girl he's spending time with. Okay, I know that, so I can read his energy. I can read how he communicates. He can't come right out and tell everybody the absolute truth of what's going down underground and how all this happened. Okay, that would sort of open Pandora's box. Things sort of have to play out in a very incremental way. As this guy Q said, breadcrumbs. a little bit, drip, 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 drip. So as the information comes out and more of the information comes out, where people become more aware through the morphogenetic field structure, because the morphogenetic field structure is being liberated with more light. When you hear what Joe Biden said, I guess it was yesterday or maybe this morning, that he called Donald Trump a climate arsonist. Oh, Jesus, please do not insult my intelligence. Okay? One of the things that the dark does is they're inverted. They're like a black hole. They don't generate any love, which means they don't generate any source-derived light. Okay? So they're liars. They're thieves. They're pedophiles. Okay? Self-indulgence, a perversion of nature. So what they do is they play this, if you want to think of it as reverse psychology, it's like putting the light on you so that you're not looking at me, because I'm the one that's accusing you of exactly what it is that I am. That's what they do. So what happens when they present that argument? You can't win, can you? It's like what they call a push on a blackjack table. Nah, 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 nah. So how do you prove who's right and who ain't? By reading their energy. By looking what they do. Go look at the evidence. Okay? The history and what's known is already there. It's actually all in the Akashic Record. It's already written in the Galactic Record. This guy Joe Biden is an absolute disgrace. This guy isn't an American. Are you kidding me? He's a demon. He no more gives a shit about the American people than the man in the moon. That's another fakery. So it's like, please, how is it possible that anybody in America could ever believe anything this guy ever has to say? The list of lies that he's been caught in saying his entire life is all there in the public record. Okay? The biggest thing that Donald Trump did, okay, that impressed the crap out of me, was putting his signature to Executive Order 13818. By going after those that commit human rights abuses. Which means you're not going to be allowed to go around traumatizing people anymore and putting them in a state of fear and feeding on their energy. That's over with. So here is the argument I will present in return. All you got to do is go back to the U.S. Navy's Stereo Sound Library, which is SETI, and pull up all the video and take a look at all the ships that were coming through the Sun Gate. Look at all the dogfights that were going on between Anunnaki ships, Draco Cube ships, okay, Battlestar Athena, the battle planets that were parked out by Saturn. As I remember, there was 396 of them, okay? And if you went to Project Ascension, Patty lays it all out, okay, because she built the computer lab at KSC. So she gives you the inside stuff. Lays it right out. So you know she's telling the truth. Okay? I know that anyway because I can read her energy. Okay? And besides that, her voice print was in my database. So I already know what team she's on, which is the same team I'm on. Which is the family of light, which is what love is. Okay? So one of the things that I realized when I thought about her sometimes and how much the wealth of knowledge that she has and what she knows, because I know who she works for. I know the job that she's doing because she told us. And this gets into what I call picking the event ahead of time on an event horizon, where light bends in a vortex to pick up speed of our hadron accelerator. And why would I just say hadron accelerator? Because I'm aware of how many people are aware of what the hadron accelerator is. Okay? Why does it even exist? What is its function? What do we know about the Hadron Collider? It's a big-ass magnet. That tells me they know a lot about how magnets work. Just like I know a lot about how magnets work. The powerful magnet that I have in my heart, which allows me to spin so much light so fast in a vortex. Open up a Stargate. Open up a portal. So the event horizon where light bends in a vortex to pick up speed of our hadron accelerator is the power of our magnet to attract more light. And know the event on the timeline horizon. That means you can know the event. So now we get into all the different events. How many events exist within past, present, future? They're infinite, aren't they? Particularly when you have, 7.5 billion people who all have consciousness, and the next event that they're experiencing, okay, is based on what? Speed vibration of the energy that you're experiencing, the event. So if we get everybody, for example, if we could get everybody on the planet to believe that an asteroid was going to hit this place, and that doesn't even get into the warp drive that's in this planet ship, because we can move out of here, by the way. Get out of the way. And that doesn't even include all the technology we have to be able to blow an asteroid into smithereens, right? So I was going to mention about how, where is it here? Here we go. The speed of change. So I used the example of Patty, who said some things would happen that didn't. Okay. So she believed at one time, and I can't remember exactly what it is, but just for the sake of a generic argument, remember an argument, she believed that certain things were going to happen, but they didn't happen. Now that doesn't mean that Patty isn't telling the truth. It means she's basing the information on the data that she's experiencing at the time in which she's experiencing it. Okay? But how can you actually predict what's actually going to happen? Okay? Because in the looking glass, it's like all these possibilities exist because I know that within my light, infinite possibilities exist. So what actually happens is going to be based on what? The amount of light that is consciousness believes that it's going to experience it in their light, in their consciousness. Okay? So it's like she said at one time, if all these beings believe in this YouTube that we're going to get hit by an asteroid, they can make it happen. Why would you want to do that? Most of these beings do not understand how a holographic universe works with a bidirectional echo chamber or a bidirectional mirror on the visible light spectrum. You're the chooser what you want to experience. Why would you want to experience something like that? You got a death wish? Because they believe it. Why would you want to believe something like that? Because you live in fear of it. Now we get into fear-based programming. That comes through trauma. This is where I began to realize most of the beings, at least throughout the period in which I've been here, from 51 until now, okay, are essentially clinically insane. Okay? How do you measure that? Well, that's pretty simple. All you have to do is observe. And what do you realize? How people use their energy. Why do they do things that don't serve them, which obviously means if it doesn't serve them, it's not going to serve anybody else either. So if you love who you are, which is the energy who you are, which is the energy you're experiencing, then you're naturally broadcasting what love is. And when you're broadcasting what love is, you're not going to experience an asteroid hitting you. Now that's logic. They can't argue against that logic. Okay? So what are they going to come up with an argument like that? They can't, not unless they lie. So that's what they do. They lie through their teeth. Why is that? Because they don't generate any love. That's logic also. So they can't present a mathematically logical, computational argument based on logic, which is your level of intelligence, which is your aptitude, which we can measure. Okay? It's a measurement of your identity. So Biden isn't a light worker. He's not a light warrior. And he doesn't run on any love. If he did, he would be telling everybody to vote for President Trump and just bail. The problem is, just like talking to a bus driver this morning, she said, my daughter's programmed. She's running a program in memory. Well, I know who did that. The public school classrooms did that. See, a lot of people don't remember this, but I do. But in the 1960s, when I thought we were going to really move it, change the frequency on the planet, heal everybody, and get it way up in the middle 1960s, because I could feel the energy going way up in a lot of places that I was traveling around to. Well, they killed off all the intellectuals at most of the universities that were telling the truth. So that's what they do. They kill off people that are telling you the truth because they want you to live in a lie, which is their lie, which is they live in fear of what love is because they can't generate any, because it's the most powerful energy in the cosmos. That's the creative energy we use to create the cosmos with. They don't know how to do that. So it's just like I told some guy this morning who made quite a bit of money actually as a landscaper. He said, I've been watching a lot of YouTube. Nobody's living through their heart anymore. I realize that. So their energy's down. So they believe all this bullshit, which is your state of awareness. Okay? Because the higher the waveform experience of the speed in which you're experiencing who you are, you have a higher state of awareness than lower density does. So you're able to, everything is transparent. You know who's lying to you and why they're lying to you. So when you know that love created the universe, then you know what the truth is. So it starts with love. It starts with light. Let there be light. Joe Biden doesn't represent what the light is. That's obvious. Okay? So then I thought about using the example of the speed at which all data transfer is accelerating between all neurotransmitters in a free will universe. How do we account for every single data point that represents an event on all the psychic timelines? Excuse me. Yeah, psychic timelines. If you knew the future of every single bit and byte of data that is being experienced by every single unit of consciousness that exists within the entire cosmos at any one given now-time moment, before it happens, then we can record every single event that has or ever will occur and decide for all those units of consciousness what they will experience next in the future. Because we can change it without their knowledge beforehand. So they know how to do that here. Okay? That's called a program. That's what they put into people's memory. Data is stored in memory that represents an event timeline, which basically is self-termination. Because it means that you can't get your energy up, which means you can't get your consciousness up, because the reality that you believe you live in is lower density consciousness. How are you ever going to ascend that way? You can't. That way you become a perpetual source of energy that they can strip and harvest from us. That's why we're in here. It ends with us. All of us. Because the energy is going up, which means the density is going up, and we're aware of more stuff. Which means all their lies and everything is exposed before all the light. That's what's happening. That means everybody's state of awareness is going up. That means the speed at which the vortex and all the data that is spinning in that mixing bowl, okay, is going up. So that means we're shifting gears in consciousness from lower density to higher density because we're speeding it up. Because there's a lot of light workers in here, a lot of light warriors in here. Because if you were paying attention to all the footage, you'd begin to realize, man, look at all these ships that are coming in here. Well, they didn't come in here to play tiddlywinks. Okay? They came in here because they represent our brothers and sisters in the cosmos that run on high frequency, higher density consciousness, that are here to help liberate this planet. And that means liberating your consciousness from it being held captive, so that your free will identity is able to express itself without any fear. Because we love you all. That's how it works. That's how light works.